In the center, we can see that NGA has sent at least one destroyer, one cruiser, and one battleship towards the direction of B. As Kutuzov and Benson both have smokes, this would allow them to smoke up essentially this area here, or here, for cover for the North Carolina. These forward-firing guns would allow them to fire on all ships in this part of the map. Now that I'm dead, it looks like NGA has taken the lead, starting with the C cap, while MIA only has the A cap. B remains uncontested. This is a bit slow, but I believe Red Russian is taking it a bit carefully in order to prevent getting destroyed by that Kutuzov. However, only MIA has brought a cruiser capable of radaring their Chapayev, and Chapayev with an 11-kilometer radar, once placed around this island here, should be able to cover the entirety of the B cap. Over by C, we can see another cruiser and battleship with smoke. However, it doesn't look like the Imagi will be able to get into that smoke. This will, of course, allow him to be bombed by the MIA Kutuzov. In the middle of the map, Daft is engaging with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I should have guessed that. Who appears to have a balanced strike loadout rather than an air superiority loadout. Either that or all his squadrons have died off. Red Russian is now capping. However, he's about to be spotted by torpedo bombers, but they can't drop from that direction. They'll have to fly overhead, in which case they'll end up in Chapayev's AA green. And all two of the squadrons are dead. Russian has capped using that island for cover, while NGA has specifically limited their firing arcs to directly north. NGA's Fenton ends up out of position, very close to MIA's ships, but misses Russian with his torpedo launch. On the other side of the map, Alpaca Emperor Alex is just skirting around the edge of the sea cap, unable to see what actually is in there. And NGA's Benson takes a severe amount of damage while laying that smoke cloud, and also leaves himself open to counterattack from Red Russian's torpedoes. Meanwhile, NGA's ships are still screened from everything on the northeast side of the map. However, Bismarck, North Carolina can face tank for a decent degree. At this point, MIA will slowly overgain NGA in terms of points just by virtue of having two caps. However, if they can sink that Benson, they'll get a nice bonus. It looks like at this point, only MIA's Chapayev has 60% health, while NGA has several ships which are below that threshold. On the other side of the map, we can see NGA has sent a lone Amagi towards the backline west of B, which puts him well out of range of many targets, but he can use the island for cover. However, his response time towards capping any point will be very long. Over by C, NGA's Sabine continues to chase down Alpaca Emperor Alex. However, this does bring him into close proximity to Aristre, who will soon have firing lines. Also at that point, Moto can fire on Sabine, and also has range for radar. I expect them to lose that Benson within the minute. On the other side of the map, both Bensons are briefly spotted, but not long enough for them to get any decent shots off on hang times. Right now, it appears as if NGA is sending all of their Bensons in the general direction of B in order to cap it quickly. The more ships you have in cap, the faster it caps. With 3 ships, it'll take 20 seconds. And it doesn't look like MIA has any ship that would be able to move into the cap in 20 seconds. Also, we can see that NGA's carrier is currently keeping his fighters in such a position as to watch all of the flanks, as most of their fleet is hiding behind these 5 islands behind B. And now that they have 2 destroyers and a Kutuzov at that island, they have 3 ships capable of smoke. However, Kutuzov has already dropped at least 2 of those smoke. Aristria standing still could easily take this Magi broadside. To which he does, which looks like 1 citadel or a large amount of overpens. However, at that range, it's unlikely that a Magi will get a follow-up shot. At this point, MIA has a 130-point lead, which leaves them safe enough to lose 1 vessel and still hold on to that. However, their cruisers are critically low on health, and so Noto and Aristria are going to have to spend their time at long range. However, it doesn't look like Moto can actually be fired on at that position, so he's probably just there for radar use only. And now that all of NGA's vessels are screened in smoke, it looks like MIA can use the opportunity to push up if necessary. However, with this solid point lead, they can afford to just sit in their smoke clouds and shoot anyone who comes up. And with that torp spread, they may possibly hit those 2 ships. Looks like there's 1 hit on probably the Kutuzov. And hang times goes down, spotted, and hit by torpedoes. MIA now has a solid 250-point lead, to which point NGA will have to move up this Amagi soon, or they will risk losing by points. On the other side of the map, it looks like Alpaca Emperor Alex is moving in the general direction of C to cap it, though MI doesn't necessarily need this cap at the time. They do risk getting North Carolina flanked by Sabine. However, now that because Aristria has been left behind, he does have... and Benton is hidden. At this point, and while NGA still has most of their ships, they'll need to make a concerted push into B in order to achieve anything. Because of the firing lines, they could potentially enter from the south side and use these 2 islands for cover. However, because Red Russian is still in this general area, that leaves them open to torpedoes. But it does look like they do have air superiority over the center of the map. This can be shown because Daft Rhetoric is mostly bombing the Amagi on the far west side, which also does extend his cycle time because he is on the east side of them. Knuckle will soon expose himself to fire from the Chapiev if Moto has any radars left, of which he should still have at least 1. But Aristria is now on the very far edge of the map and is out of any range to be effective. However, with his low health points, his job now is just to not die in order to secure MIA the 1,000 point victory. Red Russian and Turbo Tush both send in torpedoes into the Kutuzov North Carolina smoke cloud. As these are cross torps, these should be much more difficult for NGA to dodge. To which that looks like in North Carolina took a torpedo. And based off his angle, he'll probably take the second set. And those torps have definitely impacted North Carolina as no ship has died, though 4 torpedoes hit. Sabine will probably go down here, which she does. MIA now only needs 80 points to win, which can easily be achieved through killing 2 battleships. Either that or at this current rate of point gain of 6 points every 5 seconds, they will win in 50 seconds. His smoke runs out, and he is currently flooding, so he will die right about now, which will essentially secure MIA the victory. In this match we have seen, MIA has not lost a ship, however they have come close. On the other hand, NGA was unable to provide sufficient protection for their destroyers. The match is now ended with a decisive MIA victory. The next match will follow up within 10 minutes, as part of Standard Supremacy League rules, even though we are in the off-season. Till then, here's an intermission.